We're starting our first lesson today on the new chapter. So this is lesson 1, fractions and division. We are on page 551. I know you can't see it down there, so 551. We're just going to review quickly, so hopefully we know what a fraction is, but it represents a division. Division of a numerator by a denominator or parts of a set. So when we see this fraction line, so if we have 1/3 and we have this fraction line, that literally means 1 divided by 3. Okay, so when you get into upper grades, they will not write this symbol anymore to represent division. They will write it like a fraction. In fact, this symbol literally is the fraction symbol, and then these dots represent any number that you can put there. So this, in essence, is a fraction symbol. And just to review, we should know that the numerator is the top number, and the denominator is the bottom number. The denominator will represent the whole, the whole amount or the total, and then the 1 is the part. So the numerator usually is the part. So example 1, Dylan, Drake, and Jade are sharing 2 small pizzas equally after the lacrosse game. How much does each person get? So let's think of what we are dividing up. So our total is 2, so that is going to be our numerator. And we're dividing that up among 3 people. So however many groups or people we have, that's going to be our denominator. So each person gets 2/3 of a pizza. That's 2 divided by 3 is 2/3. The amount of pizza each person gets is between what 2 whole numbers? Well, 2/3, if I drew a number line, here's 0, here's 1. 2/3, if I were to split this up into thirds, 1, 2, 3, 2/3 would be right here. So that is going to be in between 0 and 1. Okay. All right, next page. 552. Ray and Bailey are sharing 3 brownies equally. How much does each person get? So we have 3 brownies divided by 2 people. So each person is going to get 3 halves of a brownie. The model at the right shows that each person gets 1 whole brownie, but there is 1 brownie remaining, which can be divided equally between the 2 people. So each person is going to get 1.5 brownies, right? So if these squares represent the brownies, well, we can give 1 to Ray, we can give 1 to Bailey, but then we have 1 left over. So let's split that in half and get half of it to Bailey and half of it to Ray. So 3 halves equals 1 and 1/2, right? Because everyone is getting 1, and then Ray is going to get this other half, so 1 and 1/2. The amount of brownies each person gets is in between what 2 whole numbers? So 0, 1, 2. 1 is a whole number, so I know it's going to be greater than 1. And then what is halfway in between 1 and 2? Well, this would be 1 and 1.5. So it's in between 1 and 2. 2 bags of birdseed are used to fill 3 bird seeders. How much birdseed does each feeder use? Represent the situation using the model and then solve. So this is going to represent our 2 bags of birdseed, and we need to split that among 3 bird feeders. So think first of how we should do this. What I'm thinking is I'm just going to take my 1 bag, and I need to split that into 3 bird feeders. Then I'm going to take my other bag and basically just do the same thing. So this is going to go into 1 bird feeder, this is going to go into 1 bird feeder, this is going to go into 1 bird feeder, and then the same thing for the second. So each feeder uses how much of a bag of birdseed? They use 1/3. But because we have 2 bags, this number is actually going to become 2. So 2/3, 2 divided by 3 is the same as 2/3. So the answer then would be 2/3. Okay. Right, because 1/3 plus 1/3 is 2/3, so hopefully I didn't confuse you with that. All right, so we have independent practice. So I would like you to try 2 through 4 right now. So you're going to pause the video and then unpause it to check your answers. So I should see you at this point to click pause. You're going to put your Chromebook at half-mast or close it completely. Try 2 through 4. Your headphones should be off. So do that right now. All right, now you should have completed page 500, what are we on? 553. So you're just checking your answers. 4 families equally share 5 pies. How much pie will each family receive? each family receives 4 families share 5 pies. I'm sorry, let me take that back. We're going to take our 5 pies and divide that into 4 families. Sorry, I kind of switched that around there. So we know that 4 can go into 5 one whole time, right? It's never good when our numerator is bigger than our denominator. We don't typically like that, so we try to make it as simple as possible. So each person is going to receive 1. Our denominator is always going to stay the same. And then if I multiply 4 times 1, I get 4, so I need to add 1 more to get 5. So each family is going to receive 1 1/4 of a pie. 5 divided by 4 equals 5/4. The answer is between the whole numbers. Well, I know it's greater than 1, but it's less than 2. So it's in between 1 and 2. 6 bags of soil are used to fill 5 flower pots. How much soil does each flower pot use? Between what 2 whole numbers does the answer lie? So each flower pot is going to use 6 bags of soil to split up between 5 flower pots. This is very similar that we have a top-heavy fraction here. I know 5 can go into 6 one whole time. Our denominator is always going to stay the same. And then if I multiply 5 times 1, I get 5. My goal is to get to 6, so I need to add 1 more. So 1 1/5 bag of soil. So 6 divided by 5 is 6/5. This answer is greater than 1 because I have a fractional part in addition to the 1, but it's less than 2. So it's in between 1 and 2. 40 yards of fabric are used to make 9 school banners. How many yards of fabric does each banner use? Between what 2 whole numbers does the answer lie? So again, I need to take my 40 yards of fabric and I need to split that up into 9 school banners. So I need to think this is essentially 40 divided by 9. Now you could, because this is division, do 40 divided by 9. 9 can go into 40 4 times. 4 times 9 is 36, and I have a remainder of 4. Now if you remember the division unit, my whole number is my quotient, right? So 4. My remainder is my numerator, and my denominator is going to stay the same, just like I was saying up here, my denominator stays the same. So 40 divided by 9 is 40/9. Now this time, because this is 4, I know it has to be in between 4, and it did not go past 5, so it's in between 4 and 5. All right, I would like you to try 5 and 6. So pause the video and then unpause it to check your answers. All right, you should have done 5 and 6, so you're just checking right now. DeMont uses 4 gallons of gasoline in 3 days driving to work. Each day he used the same amount of gasoline. How many gallons of gasoline did he use each day? So we're taking the 4 gallons of gas. We're splitting that up into 3 days of driving. How many gallons of gasoline did he use each day? Well, this is essentially 4 divided by 3. 4 divided by 3, or how many times can 3 go into 4? It can go in 1 time. I know my denominator is going to stay the same. So if I multiply 3 times 1, I get 3. So how many more do I need to add to get to 4? I need to add 1 more. So each day, DeMont uses 1 1/3 gallons. Suzanne made 2 gallons of punch to be divided equally among 10 people. So that one literally tells you 2 gallons to be divided among 10 people. How much of the punch did each person receive? So this is 2 divided by 10. So you can write 2/10 of a gallon, but this is actually not in simplest form, which we haven't gotten to yet, so I wouldn't mark it wrong. But once we do get to it in your test, you will need to put it into simplest form. I know 2 and 10 share a common factor of 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 1/5 gallons. All right, let's skip down to number 8. You know that if 15 divided by 3 equals 5, then 5 times 3 equals 15. If you know that 7 divided by 8 equals 7/8, what can you conclude about the product of 7/8 and 8? So what they're saying here is, what is 7/8 times 8. Now you should realize that this is 7. So we are just using kind of the same factors and products. These are all within the same number family. So the product of 7/8 times 8 is 7. Same thing with 15 divided by 3 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15 because the quotient, the product of a multiplication problem and the dividend of a division problem should be the same. Okay, so what you are going to do is in my homework, so page 555 and the back 556.